Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Anything But HoldEm. After a brief hiatus of a couple of days, took a few days off from the streaming, we're back with a horse tournament today. This is the weekly round 2. This is the astronomer free roll, a Sagan horse. I don't think we've played a Sagan horse yet on the stream here yet. I think we've played the Badoogie. I don't know. We might have played a horse. I'm not sure. Not sure. Anyways, we're playing the horse today. I'm not sure why the chat isn't coming up properly in the window here, but we will see what we can do about that. That was a rather ambitious call, probably. 2, 4, 6, 10, couple of hearts. We're going to call this, see what happens, come through on this. Oh, this is frustrating that it's not actually. Alrighty, well, for some reason it does not seem to want to add that. I don't know why. Let's see if this works. Well, that seems to have worked okay. We had to get out of that last hand when we missed a low. We've got a club draw over here, so it's probably worth doing something about. The clubs came in for us. They may not be the nut clubs, obviously. There's 2 above us, but it's probably worth calling through on. Obviously no low for us, but I think it's probably worth calling through on. Yep. All right, so we got ace 4, 6, 9. The 4 diamonds aren't obviously the best thing in the world, but I don't really think that you can afford not to play this hand. You've hit 2 pair. It's not great for the low draw, obviously. Somebody with a 2-3 is doing great for low draw. Deuce 5, that sort of thing is doing great for low draw right now. But I think our 2 pair is probably too strong to get away from quite yet. Of course, that's giving us open-ended straight draws as well, which we've just hit. No, we haven't just hit, sorry. We've missed. We've bricked our draw, but so has any flush draws bricked. I think we're going to go with our aces and fours since the flush draws bricked. Yeah, but the straight draws didn't brick. I should have remembered that. We flipped over into Raz. Of course, Raz plays for the lowest 5-card hand out of a 7-card stud layout. Our King, King, Jack is not going to be the lowest 5-card hand. I can tell you that even without getting anything more than 3 cards dealt out to me. So we shall fold that and wait for a better opportunity to play our Raz cards. When I started the stream, I was doing pretty good. I was at 20,000 chips or so and sitting pretty close to a ticket position. That hand with the where we hit 2 pair and called down and got straighted out on. Dropped us down a bit. Still not hugely terrified about my position. 13,000 is plenty of a stack at this point to be doing what I want to do with and what I need to do when I get hands. That's more like a Raz hand for me, I think. They come in for a raise. See, we've already got the 3 out. See what the deuce does. The 7 coming in. Denny's been pretty active against me in this game, and in fact, he 4-bet me down on 2 streets, capped the betting with 3 jacks showing on his board on a Raz hand that I'm pretty sure he thought that we were playing stud somehow at that point, which we were not. And I took down a very, very, very large pot from him earlier in the game, where clearly he didn't seem to understand the game that we were playing. He either didn't know how to play Raz or he thought we were playing stud instead of playing Raz because he called me down with 4 jacks. And that's a bad Raz hand. You can't make a good Raz hand. Out of any 7-card hand that has 4 jacks in it, it's just going to be a bad day for you. He ended up being jack high on his Badoogie or on his Raz hand, which is quite remarkable for somebody with 4 of a kind jacks. But yeah, he seems like the chat might be messed up right now. I've got big swirly things going on my chat window, so I'm not seeing any chat. So if you're trying to chat to me, I'm actually not seeing what you're chatting. So sorry about that. A7 is pretty good Raz hand to play with. think it's worth putting some money in, clear some people off the pot. Kumo's potentially got hands. I'm actually surprised. I was expecting to clear some people off the pot with that bet, frankly. Um, and I should have, but apparently we didn't. So we'll see. I'm still a little worried about Kumo. Bellard could be drawing out against us for sure. But I think we're probably going to continue a little bit farther anyways. I mean, Kumo potentially could be on a 6 here. I'm not entirely sure that I believe he's on a 6. I think he's got something a little bit bigger than a 6 back here. But even still, if I'm on a 76 deuce 1 draw, um, I'm counting on him being bigger than that back. And now I'm on an 87, and I probably cannot count on being ahead with an 87. I don't think ahead of Kumo. Anyways, I'm uh, I'm almost certainly ahead of Bellard, but I don't think I can count on being ahead of Kumo with an 87 at this point in the game. So I think that the prudent thing to do is to click the fold button. Oh wow, and the 87 was, oh wow, the 87 was better. I obviously completely misread that hand. I obviously completely misread that hand. You're going to fold that out. It's probably not strong enough against a raise here with the ace and the deuce out there. Although, given how I played that last hand, I think maybe the best course of action is for me to do whatever it is that is the opposite of what I plan to do. Clearly, Sieges is developing a very strong hand here. Jack King doesn't change anything really. Both of these hands are just as strong now, and they're probably drawing just as strong. That really makes it a 5-3 ace versus a 5 deuce ace from what we can see. And it really makes it pretty close at the moment. I don't think either one is particularly. Um, wow, nuts. You could play that. Obviously, both the 7 and the 6 qualify as low cards, and you could still develop a winning low hand out of that, but it's a pretty bad place to start. And if I'm going to start with 2 paired cards, they're more likely to be a pair of deuces, a pair of aces, a pair of threes, maybe a pair of fours, something like that. But once I start getting above 5, for sure, it's just not worth holding the pairs in Raz, in my opinion. If you're here for the first time, click the follow button below the video window. It'd be awesome to have you around. We play a whole bunch of different things. Today we're playing Horse, which is a mixed game that is composed of Limit Hold'em, Limit Omaha 8, Limit Raz, Limit Stud, and Limit Stud 8 for the HORSE. We play all sorts of games here. The only thing that we don't really play here is Hold'em. We have actually played some Hold'em here on Anything But Hold'em, but it's very rare that we do. Mostly we're going to play games other than Hold'em because you can find Hold'em pretty much anywhere out there. It's very easy to flip on your TV. There's going to be a couple of sports channels showing some sort of Hold'em, and flip on browse the internet. You're going to find people streaming Hold'em here on Twitch. You're going to find stuff on PokerStars.tv. You're going to find all sorts of places to see Hold'em being played and talked about while being played. What you won't find a ton of is people playing games like Badoogie or Omaha High Low or 5 card draw or deuce to seven triple draw, or any of the more unusual variants of poker that are very, very, very fun games, very entertaining games, very interesting games. They all have their own little quirks of strategy and quirks of pace as far as play is concerned. And they're a lot of fun, and you just don't get a chance to see them. So hopefully, what I'm really trying to do here with Anything But Hold'em is put together a program where people can watch games other than No Limit Hold'em being played. Uh, and we will play pretty much everything other than No Limit Hold'em here. As I said, I just took a break of a couple of days. I'd streamed 8 days straight last week from Sunday to Sunday. In that span, I made 11 episodes, and we covered most of the games, I think, that are out there, including some of the more obscure variants like Courchevel High-Low and 5-Card Omaha High-Low. I still haven't played anything like Courchevel High, Omaha High, or 5-Card Omaha High. Not very good at those games, and I will eventually play them when I find something juicy to play and at the right time. But for the time being, I've stuck with the high-low games. But we played 5-card draw. We played deuce to seven and a couple of variants, both the triple and the single draw variety. We have played both fixed and pot limit Badoogie. We have played all of the stud variants except stud high. We're playing stud high, of course, as part of the horse rotation here, but we haven't played stud high as its own game yet. And of course, we played horse and 8-game as well. So we've covered most of the possible variants that don't involve getting dealt 2 cards down with 5 cards that you share in the middle of the board. It's been a lot of fun so far. I'm gonna keep doing this for a few more weeks probably, just to see what sort of games I can get into. I'm gonna look for some. There's actually some golden sit and goes going on now, so there's a lot more people on the sit and go side, and I might be able to get some mixed game sit and go action happening, which would be a lot of fun as well. I'll look for some more MTTs and things to do. Of course, we've got our Anything But Hold'em weekly challenge tournament coming up on Sunday. On Sunday this week at 3 p.m. Mountain Time this week. It will be a horse. One of the reasons I'm doing horse today is because horse will be coming up, so I want to do a couple of programs on horse this week to make sure it's highlighted before we get in. It was a lot of fun last week. We had not a bad turnout. It was quite a bit of fun. A couple hours after we started, my colleague and writer friend from Poker News Canada, Anthony Charter, took down the top prize of $6.50, and the much, much, much more valuable prize of bragging rights for winner of the first ever Anything But Hold'em weekly challenge. This is a stud hand that we're playing here now. The King Queen could actually play. The Deuce 4 I was thinking was playing on straightwise, but we really haven't hit either of those sides. So I'm just going to get rid of that now. Yeah, it's kind of weird that the chat isn't working for some reason. This is a pretty nice looking stud hand here. Of course, all the spades is what makes it look so pretty. The Jack Queen can also hit all sorts of straight possibilities. Two other spades out here, but I've got four now, so I'm pretty happy with my spade draw. We think we're going to put money in on this pot, I think. I'm not sure I can expect, well, any of these three players to fold. But it means that when I do hit the fifth spade, if I do hit the fifth spade, I guess, the pot will be bigger and it will be more worth my while to have drawn to it. Disconnect, that always makes for fun play. So yeah, like I said, I can't really expect any of these guys to fold at this point, but pair fives, obviously that's not our fifth spade, which would be our gin card, but I'm happy with pair fives. I'm going to check here for pot control now that we're on the big bet size. Hit queens at five, so I'm going to be pretty happy, I think, with my hand at this point. It's a very disguised queens and fives as well, with both my queen and my five down. And when the spade comes on the river, I mean, or on seventh, I'm in about as good a shape as I can be here. I think it's quite disguised. I only got the two. Looks like I bricked out on my flush, and I can happily be putting as much money as they'll let me put into this pot, expecting to take all the money back out of it. Now, the fact that he's showing pair of tens here means that I could actually be value owning myself here against a full house. That's certainly entirely possible. But I think at this point I've got so much money in the pot anyways, and the pot is so big that I can't really do anything other than cap the betting and hope that my flush holds, hope that he's only playing trips. Yep, full house, like I said. Value owning myself against full house, but at that point I was already in the pot so deep that I couldn't really do anything other than value own myself with a full house. Like even with my small stack, I got again with a king jack at this point, or with my small stack and two clubs. Now I got the third club, so I think I'm probably all in at this point. Not much else to do. That was obviously a pretty devastating hand getting value owned with the flush there, but well, we got the flush draw. We got the straight draw. We got the queen for the straight draw. We got any club for the flush draw. So I mean, we're still live. We're still live for the win for 11,000 chips. No, I guess we don't get all that. Probably 4,200 is our share. No, 7,500 is our share. And we brick. The kings, I mean, obviously pair kings, but it's pretty much a brick at this point, I think. Yeah, against the flush. So that was a quick stream because we're done now. I'm going to actually have a look. I'm going to let this run for a little bit on the stream, and I'm going to have a quick look and see if there's any sit and goes that are just on the verge of going. There's a Raz that's starting up pretty quick. Oh, actually, no, there's a horse that might start up quick. Let's do that one. All right, so I just registered as 7th of 8 in a horse, 8-person horse sit and go. So we'll see if that clicks over here pretty quick or not. The astronomer coming up is a Hubble, which is the no limit HoldEm one, so that doesn't do us any good as far as that's concerned. However, the Eddington stud high low is coming up in 45 minutes, so we might jump into that depending on what happens with this horse that we're waiting on. Still sitting with 7 of 8. Didn't take long for. I played a Raz earlier today. Didn't take long for the Raz to fill. So hopefully this will fill up as well. I think one of the reasons I'm making today a horse day is because of course we got the horse tournament coming up on Sunday for the Anything But Hold'em weekly challenge. Go to the PokerStars tournament lobby and search Elron for that, and you will find the tournament. ELRON is the search term. And the password will be Twitch Elron. So hopefully we will see you there on Sunday afternoon. Not sure what's wrong with the. Not sure what's wrong with my chat. My chat does not seem to be functioning. As you can see on the stream, it's doing a big twirly thing and has been since we started today. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but hopefully that will sort itself out at some point. I keep doing a reload, hoping it will come back on the reload, but it does not seem to be doing so. Still sitting 7 of 8 in the horse. So hopefully there will be an 8th person join us to play some horse very soon. Alrighty, so the stream just caught up with me busting. Alrighty, just for kicks, we just jumped into an Omaha high-low tournament. Let's make sure that comes up on the board. And of course, the horse actually just started at the same time. So we'll switch over to our 2-table format. Let's go with table left is going to be the $1.50 fixed limit horse. No, actually, table left is going to be the $1.50 no limit. Omaha high-low. That one is the horse. This one is supposed to be the Omaha high-low. There we go. Not a great hand for Omaha high-low, but I think we're going to call anyways just to see what the flop brings. One of the things with Omaha versus stud is that the flop can sometimes dictate that there will be no low hand anyways, so the high cards will sometimes work that way. Right, so we need a 10 for a straight at the moment. We've missed all of our flushes. There is plenty of opportunity for low hands, so we're not real thrilled with our hand at the moment, with just a gut shot and really nothing else other than a pair of nines to speak of. Pair of nines over here on the limit hold'em portion of horse we're going to play with. I think we're going to fold on this. We're going to throw money in the pot with our pair of nines on the horse table. Ace 4, 9, 10 double suited is a hand that we probably want to play. Some. I am going to call the nines here still. I don't think I'm going to raise again, but calling is perfectly fine, I think. So we've just turned a gut shot straight draw to go with our second pair. It's kind of weird that the no limit high-low on this side is turning into a limit game, it seems like. Right, so we've flopped all sorts of draws, more draws than we can count or speak of at this point. So we're gonna throw a half pot bet out there and say, hey, we've got the hand, because we've also got the nut low. Well, not nut low. 3 ace is nut low at this point, but we with the we're almost nutted at this point. We're not really nutted anymore, but we still have the 8-7 4 deuce ace. So I think we're probably not going to throw quite as many chips into the pot yet. And we bricked on all of our draws. So we're looking at a pair of fours at the moment, which is all of our high. But I think I'm pretty happy with the low draw that we've got. And I'm definitely calling a bet of 60 here, just because I can't do anything other than call a bet of 60. And splitting the pot is somewhat reasonable. Although the way we split that pot is a bit bizarre, that we win the high pot and he wins the low pot. That's not exactly the way we expected to split that pot, but hey, we'll take the split. Definitely checking through on this. Pair of sevens, deuce 5-7 for low. Here's an example of an Omaha flop that says we're not going to play for low this time. We're just gonna play for high this time. And given that, my pair of sevens is a lot weaker now with all of these Broadway cards up there. So we're just basically check folding through here. Yeah, we were folding to a bet of 1 chip, I think, which of course would not have been possible on that hand, but nonetheless, we were folding to any bet. I think we're definitely playing a pair of eights for a raise over on the horse table. I think we're going to call through here. Just the odds are such that we can't really do anything but call through here. Flop is pretty crappy for a pair of eights over on the horse table, but I think we'll call one street at least. Backdoor diamonds on the high-low, pair of sixes. I think we can safely get away from this hand and not say we've made a mistake at this point. especially now that the fourth diamonds come up. Backdoor diamonds have turned into front door diamonds, so that's a fairly happy coincidence. We also now have jacks and sixes to go with our draws. So I think we're happy to throw money in the pot and make it a little bit bigger for when we win this. So we've just rivered a full house, jacks full of sixes. I think what we want to do is pot bet this, and we just threw a bet in last time. Maybe look like we're trying to muscle down the pot. With the amount of time that we tanked while I was talking to you guys as well, it might also look like we were weak. I guess not. Still, I'll take the pot. Queen, queen, deuce, three. I'm relatively happy with that. We're into the Omaha high-low section over here. I'm pretty happy with a deuce, three, seven, eight. So we're gonna go through and see a flop over there. These are both $1.50 eight-person sit and goes for the record. I believe. No, actually, this high-low is a 16. Yeah, the high or it's an 18-person tournament, so it's a two-table. This one's a one-table. Flopped straight draw and a fairly decent low. Oh, we probably wanted to play that, but we let it time out by mistake. Oh well. We probably didn't really want to play that actually. Now that we see the flop come up, so that was probably a good thing. We're gonna play over here still. We flopped. We still got our up and down straight draw. We still got a decent low with the low draw with the three deuce. So I mean we're pretty happy still with the position we're in this hand. Seeing the third six on board doesn't really make us thrilled over here. We obviously don't have a low and we obviously don't have a high, so we obviously can't call. Rather disturbing over there, but it's all you can do sometimes. They just don't work out for you sometimes. Again, 4-5 ace for low, all the spades. I'm gonna call here and see what develops on the flop. Gives us obviously wheel draws, gives us a pair of fours is our base thing here. We've got a 5, a 4, 3 ace low draw. Brick the spades obviously, so the spades are out of play. But there's a lot of other stuff. There's a lot of other potential. I think it's worth staying and seeing another street here. The diamonds don't help us at all. They might help somebody else. I don't think we need to bet, obviously. If Shriver bets, we're probably going through. And we bricked everything. Seems fairly typical of our game on both tables so far today. We've largely bricked everything. Yeah, I could try a bet there to see and to try to steal it. It seemed pretty obvious that nobody had a king, and I can probably get people off the jacks. But I don't really think it's necessarily a good value bet or a good bluff there. Pretty close to the nut low. Flopped over on our high-low table, Omaha high-low table here. The spades obviously put us in bad shape, even if we hit our straight there. But that's not strong enough. There's no reason to play that. But we're pretty happy. I mean, the ace three is the only hand that's beating us for low right now. So we're pretty happy with that. I do believe. I think we've got to still keep coming through, even with the pot bets. That's not the friendliest, obviously, of low cards for us. It gives us a pair of fours, which isn't any better than our kings, so we're still just playing kings for high. Um, how does it change the low? I'm still playing 6-5, 4, deuce, ace. I don't think it really changes the low significantly. The 3-8 still beats me, and I don't think anything else does. So yeah, not the best result. We got quartered there. It's not the best result, but it's not a horrible end result either. Life could be worse. So what are we doing now? We are playing. We are no longer playing um, playing the Sagan's horse. We are now playing a $1.50 eight-person horse sit and go, and a $1.50 18-person 08 sit and go. Into the Raz portion. That's not a terribly strong Raz hand, so we can pretty safely get rid of it. Unfortunately, on these 8-person tables, I'm not going to get a break on here, so we're going to go straight through until this one ends. When I'm done with both of these tables, I'll probably close the stream down for the day, I think. I'm having issues with my chat, for the record. It's not resolving itself, and in fact, it looks like I'm having some issues with my Twitch in general at the moment. Hopefully, you're still watching. Deuce 4-7 is much better. Raz hand, we will definitely play that. We actually probably could have come in for a raise there if we were being happy about it, but we decided that we weren't going to do that. We are calling though for certain, almost, I think. That's not the friendliest of 4 streets for us. And against the other 2 hands, I think we can profitably get out of that. Well, the Twitch chat doesn't seem to be Twitch chat, so I might actually have my chat window up. So if you want to say hi in chat, you can let me know. I don't know if it's up on my, I don't think I'll be able to put it up on my stream, but I think it's coming up on one of my other systems now, finally. So say hello in chat if you're out there listening. Let me know who's out there. Aha, I let this one, I let that one time out. I shouldn't have, but Raz, we're gonna fold that. It's been active playing these 2 tables. I didn't think it'd be this. It's not usually quite this crazy playing 2 tables, but it feels like it's been really lots of action back and forth between both of these. Yeah, we got a break starting on the 08 table, but we're not going to get a break on the horse table because it's just an 8-person. We're still playing Raz over on the horse table. We'd be a lot more excited about this hand in a high-low situation, although we're not terribly excited about it as a low hand in any situation. But it's probably worth a bring in and maybe a completion if that goes up, just to see what draws. And the draw actually comes out really good for us. So we want to bet here. We can get folds a lot of the time from all the other players and just take this pot down uncontested. Now that may loses value down the road, but it also means that nobody draws out on us down the road, and we actually add those chips to our stack right away. We flipped over to stud. It's important to remember that because you might want to actually play this as a Raz hand, but you're not going to play this really as a Raz hand. We might call a completion here with the ace-10 back. It's a pretty disguised, strong hand back there. So we might actually be calling a completion if that ends up happening. So we got 3 cards to a Broadway. 3 cards to Broadway now for our stud, which is not a horrible place to be at this point. We need a king and a queen. So I think we're going to call through one more street at least. Paired our ace. That's always a friendly place to be. Nobody else is developing. I mean, we've got... This could be developing a spade draw up here. But I think that with the pair of aces, we can't afford not to come through. And likewise, still with the pair of aces, I think we've got to see what our 7th is going to be. 7th doesn't improve us at all. We're still just sitting with a pair of aces. It's not the strongest stud hand in the world, but I think in this situation, it's worth a call. Yeah. Lots of straight possibilities there. Hearts. It's worth having a look at 4 straight. That doesn't really help us in any way whatsoever, so we could certainly continue with one more street if we wanted to. But I think our best bet usually there is to save the money and just get out of the hand at that point when we get a brick that bricky. I mean, that's about as bricky as it gets for our hand. So that was obviously 3 cards to Broadway. I'm going to continue here, even though this card is almost as bricky as the deuce was on the last one. The difference is this doesn't look as deucey or as bricky. We could easily be connected with the ace-4 in a wheel draw behind. That 3rd club is not terribly friendly. If we're drawing to our straight, we're probably we could very well be drawing dead. We might want to draw two cards to our flush there, but that's a pretty long shot to be drawn to there. So I think that we'll folding out's our most profitable thing. That's not a great thing. If the 3 was a bit more connected to the 10 jack, I might go with the 2 spades there. Or if one of the spades was an ace, I might go with the hand there. But as it is, that's just not really going to work in a straight high situation very often. It's not really going to work in a low situation either because you only have the 1 low card that plays, and so you're basically calling that. You're basically counting on 4 low cards to come in 4 cards. And on top of that, if you're trying to get a high card, you're looking either for the spades or straight cards to come in those 4 cards as well. So you're asking a lot of the odds to jump into a hand like that, even in a high-low situation. So ace-king, obviously decent. You sort of wish that the ace was the same suit, but you can live with that. That's 3 to Broadway. We're fairly happy here. I don't think we want to put a ton of chips into the pot at this point, but we can probably call a single bet. Give me a quick poke and chat if you're out there listening. I want to know if my chat window is actually functional or not. I'm not 100% certain. It's been really acting up today. So give me a poke and chat if you're out there listening. Let me know who's there. Right, so we're 4 to Broadway. We need our 10 now over on this, over on our stud in horse. The 6 doesn't do much for us, and it's pretty obvious to everybody else doesn't do much. We've flopped some nice cards over here in the high-low, so we're gonna be a bit deceptive and check that and see what other people do. The 4 is not really. Yes, actually, that is a card that we like. So we're going to throw half a pot, a bet into there. The 7 of clubs doesn't help us over here either, leaving us with essentially nothing in our stud hand. Nobody else has been terribly thrilled with it either, though. I'm going to throw some money in the pot and just see if I get some folds. I do not get some folds. Right, so the spades came through in the high-low. I was a bit surprised to win the high pot there. I'm not really surprised to win the low pot there. I'm a bit surprised to win the high pot there because with the spades coming through on the end, I figured that he might well have spades. They were backdoor spades, so that sort of makes a difference. Nice high-low hand, 4-4-6. We're gonna definitely play this. We've moved over into stud high-low now. 80-160 is our stakes. I think that's a playable hand a bit. This is not too bad. I think we're gonna continue on here. We're gonna keep continuing on. We're not thrilled with our hand on the high-low table over here. On the stud table, we just hit 7s and 4s. He's showing 2s. He could have aces and deuces for sure. It's the way he's sort of been playing his hand. He's been repping aces and deuces. I don't really think if we're this deep in the hand we can fold. We sort of want to see what he's doing, and yeah, he's aces and oh, deuces full 6s. Okay, well, hit that on the river on the 7th as well, which is a bit annoying. 6-6-3-7. This is absolutely a hand that you should be playing in an Omaha 8 situation. Lots of straights and pairing and trip possibilities there. So it's absolutely worth. Now the question is, do you want to raise it or do you want to limp through and see a flop? I think you probably want to limp through and see a flop. It's not hugely strong, obviously, and especially on this table, people have been doing a lot of calling. So we've flopped 2 pair. It was a limped pot, so it doesn't look fishy for us to throw money in the pot as though we've hit it as we have. It wouldn't look fishy for us to be trying to throw money in the pot just to steal it either. So we could probably see somebody who's hit a 7 or is maybe on a spade draw is probably going to continue with a half pot bet here. Somebody reshoving there. It's very spade draw-y. I've got to think that set is going to feel stronger and therefore not have to do that. The real question is whether I want to call through on 2 pair with a very limited low draw. I mean, I do have the 6-3 or 7-6-3 deuce low draw. I think I'm going to do it, frankly. That's an interesting shove by Golub there, I must admit. Not sure it's a shove I would make. I'm going to fold my 10s here and no, actually I'm going to call through and just see what happens. Stud high low, not really connected enough to be a huge hand, so I think we're going to get rid of it here. We've paired our 4. We didn't really have a low hand over here anyways, but we do have clubs coming through. So I think we're going to continue here most of the time. We just hit our set, which is pretty sweet. So I think that barring a deuce 5, which is always possible in a high-low situation, but barring the deuce 5, I think we're pretty happy with the strength of our high hand at the moment. We know that we can't get a low. If Buddy over here is playing a bad low, he might just give us the pot with a pot-sized bet. We managed to split the pot, which is okay. We're not too upset with that. We knew we weren't competing for low, and that's the reason that we did the pot bet there, or the shove there, because we're hoping that he had a weaker low and would therefore fold the weaker low. King, king, 6, deuce, that's certainly something that you can see a flop with in a situation like this. Golub doesn't seem to be the kind of guy that likes to fold his hand, so I don't think raising here is necessarily going to produce much more than a bloated pot, which might not be terrible if we had a flop, of course, but you kind of want to see a flop first before you start thinking about bloating the pots. So both of our back doors are still open. That's always nice to see when we're double suited. I think one more street is a necessity here for sure, just to see if one of our back doors develops into a front door. We can get rid of the 10 jack in the fixed limit hold'em situation over here. None of our flushes develop, but then again, no flushes develop for anybody else either. Our 8-6-4 deuce is not the greatest low hand in the world. We do still have kings and fours. Good chance that somebody's sitting with a 4 as a low hand though, so we got to be careful of that. So we end up with just kings and fours with an 8-6-4 deuce. Oh, we don't actually have a low. I think we got to fold that, frankly. We're going to check through here on the pair sevens with a back door. Yeah, we didn't get to see what he was playing, which is kind of a shame. We got a backdoor flush and a pair of sevens over here, so we're in okay shape. I gotta think that if Ishmael was playing an ace, we would have seen a raise pre-flop. But I don't necessarily think I need to value bet there either. Yeah, I just don't really see Ishmael playing. I am interested in what Ishmael was playing there though. 6 queen. So nothing basically was what Ishmael was playing. Queen 10, something you want to call through on usually with limit hold'em just to see what happens on the flop. We don't need to bother with this one over on the, but we're going to check through. We're going to see our flop. And so we are now 4 to Broadway, which is a pretty good place to be. There is a low draw. We don't have one, obviously. Top pair in the limit hold'em situation. I think we're happy to throw money in there. We've just paired sevens on our high-low game. We're into Omaha high-low here. Nice hand developing on this table that we'll get back to in a second. We've still got straight draws galore coming out of this, so I don't really think that we can get away from the hand. There is a low draw that just came in, but I think that we probably have to, and that really doesn't help us much at all. The pair of sevens is all we've got. That sucks that we timed out on that one. I don't really think I can call there. I don't necessarily think that he has a hand there, but that doesn't mean I can call. This is nice. We flopped the open-ended straight flush draw. I think we're going to put money into the pot with that. We're going to put money in over here. We're going to shove over here and just let people know that we're not going to get pushed around. Pretty happy with our 4-deuce low over here. The ace-deuce is the only one that gets us, which could well be out there. But I think that we've got a big enough draw that we're wanting to put money in at this point. And of course, we brick all of those draws. We're still pretty happy with the low, and I'm just going to check through here because I don't think that there's much value in this. I only get called by better hands, typically at this point, which there are. So there you go. I definitely get called there. Pair of sevens, 4-5. That's definitely a hand that we can play with. We're gonna see what happens with a limp. We just doubled up, obviously, in the last hand when we shoved in. We flopped the diamonds over here. We've just flopped a set of sevens over here. Split pot, I'm okay with that. 3-5-6 queen with hearts. I'm okay with that. Let's get that in and see what happens. 2-3-4-5 over here. We've just hit a straight draw as well, so we're pretty happy with that hand. Bricked everything out. Although we do have 3 10s now, so we're going to put our last 22 chips in with 3 10s and hope for the best. And we get the best, so that's always nice. So we've hit a pair of queens, and we've lucked into a really nice low draw, so I think we're going to put chips into this pot and hope that other people put chips in with us. I think I'm done with that one. 7, 8, 9, jack. I mean, there's obviously straight draw possibilities that come up with that, but it's we just hit obviously the bookend. We flopped the bookend straight, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, here are 10 people left in this No Limit Omaha high-low. I'm sitting 5th at the moment. There's 4 people cash in these 18-person tournaments, so we got to get to 4th in order to get any money. But Over here, of course, we need to get into third, I believe it is. Yes, we need to get into third over here to cash in the horse, and we are sitting in second currently. Right behind 88 Kenneth. You really do rather see that in a stud high-low situation, obviously, because the pair aces don't do you much good here in Raz. But I'm going to raise that a lot of times regardless with the ace, just because it's folding around to me. I'm so close to possession here. The deuce here was a little bit scary for me, but the small stack meant that he's only going to play if he's got like super strong hands. I've also played against Rail 1969 a couple times before as well, so I know that he's relatively tight. So ace 10 4, I think I'm pretty happy with this hand as well. I might have raised, I might have completed if so many people hadn't come into the pot, but with that, I'm probably not going to. I'm not going to call this shove, I don't think. 1398 into 2023 is not worth calling. Pair of aces obviously don't help us over here when we pair. We've hit the final table over here, which is nice, so there's 9 left. I am currently sitting fourth, so I am in a money spot in the high-low here if I maintain my current position. Pair of jacks with no low draw is not the greatest hand in the world, but it's probably something that I will play if it comes around for just a 100 lamp. See a flop on. Deuce 3 jack, I can play that with the buried jack. I'm actually going to raise that deuce with only the 3 as another low card, and I think I might actually even get this through as just a raise and take it. We're definitely going to call through on this. Well, we flopped the joint, and there's going to be, well, there might still be a low draw, but we've basically flopped the nuts as they set. We got a good low draw. We got a good Raz developing over here, so. Ace 4, 7, 10. That's a pretty decent hand there. We're going to get rid of this hand without a low of much developing there. That last pot moved us up into third on this table, so we're climbing up the chip stacks a bit. We're way behind second, though. Second has 61.77 to our under 3,000. So we were going to play this hand against the shove and the call. That's probably going to be a losing proposition most of the time. So I think we're going to fold this, and we're going to see what these shove call things were like. But that's probably not going to be the sort of hand that, yeah, ace deuce, couple of 9s with the heart. He flops the set. We got the nut low. Yeah, so that's not really worth getting involved in over there. 2, 3, 5, 10. We're definitely doing something with this, barring crazy betting. Yeah, it looks like my chat is still hooped somehow. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm glad there's still people out there watching. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while I play Raz and high-low. We're gonna call on both of these tables. Oh no, the 1811. Yeah, we don't have enough of a draw over on this side to really come out. We need to draw 2 low cards to do anything here. The Raz over here is doing great, so we're pretty happy. Although the queen doesn't help us much, nobody can see it, so it doesn't really hurt us much at this stage yet. We're going to call with our suited ace, see if spades come up on the flop. We're far less happy with this Raz hand now, and we're just going to get out of it now that we're in the big bet stage. Seeing the hearts isn't very friendly for us there. We did, however, get 9s and 8s, which is not a terrible situation. If one of those pairs, we can hit a full house, which caps the hearts. Lack of betting makes me wonder if anybody actually has hearts, but I might actually check raise with hearts here if I was in early possession. So. I don't think I can afford to assume that Diana's playing hearts. I think I, at this point, have to assume that my 9s and 8s are a pretty decent hand. And now that I've just added a 6, 8, 6, 5, deuce, 1 low, I think I'm probably in the hand to the end. That was fortuitous. That puts me into, well, it keeps me in third position, but it keeps me very clearly in third position. Deuce 5-4, we flipped over to stud, so it's good to pay attention to that because you might play this as though it was a Raz hand because it's a darn good starting Raz hand. Pair of 4s. Obviously, that's not bad. That's better for stud than for Raz. And we took her down with our pair of 4s. That puts us in first out of 6 places in the horse, and still third out of 9 left in the Omaha high-low. I'm going to call through with 2 diamonds and straight draws there. I think it's definitely worth seeing 4th, probably 5th Street on this just to see what happens. The king is sort of connected to us. It's not a total brick. It's not a jump up and down and dance card. The ace actually looks like it could be better than it actually is for us. So I think we're going to throw money in the pot. We're going to overbet the pot with our big bet here. Yeah, we're going to get a fold a lot of the time, even though a fold probably wasn't. Even though we probably didn't have the best hand there necessarily. No real reason to get involved with that, frankly. We obviously raised with the ace deuce 3 over here. Ace king, ace deuce 3 king is one of the stronger high-low hands that you're going to get in 08. Ace queen 7-8, one of the weaker hands you'd get in high-low. I mean, obviously you have draws to both ends, but it's not really connected enough. It's not low enough. It's not for it to play. I mean, if you're looking at 7, 8, 9, 10, you're in the same boat with your high-low draw or with your low draw situation, but you might play that hand because your straight draw possibilities are much greater. With the queen ace, you're basically looking at hitting one of 2 straights instead of hitting into one big straight, if that makes a larger sense. Hitting into one big straight is more likely than hitting one of your 2 other 2-card straight combinations in a big way. Deuce 3-3-10. I think we're gonna call through on this and see what develops. Suited ace here, I'm pretty happy with, and just taking it down like that is not a terrible thing. We're gonna bring into 300 here. We got the ace queen in back, so we're pretty strong behind, and it's only really the bigger stacks that are going to come after us. I think we're going to keep our aggression up there. It very easily could look like we're playing spades at this point. You know, and I think, yeah, I think that the fold there, assuming that we're on spades, is um, probably what happened there. He probably just assumed that we were on spades and figured he'd get out of hand. Not really strong enough for in either direction for a high-low play. We've moved into the stud high-low for the record over here, so we're playing the same thing on both sides. We have just hit a set of threes on the end. None of the flushes came through, but we did see straights come through with the ace deuce three, so any 4-5 takes straights and low. I don't have a low draw at the moment because I've paired all my cards, and there's just not you just can't make a combination that works. But with any luck, the set of threes holds up, and I collect a reasonable pot here. I'm going to see fourth on this just because I mean, I know that there's no low. We've hit a pair of kings. I mean, this could be a really bad decision on my part, but I'm so far ahead over here that I think I actually want to be putting pressure on people when I can. So we took high with three of a kind threes, and we lost our low, obviously. We knew that we weren't going to win low. So we're here on a gut shot. We're definitely playing this. So we got aces and kings over here. There is a low draw developing, which we would have a nut version of. Still aces and kings over here, no low. Wow. All the aces were out that hand in the two of our hands. We're definitely getting involved in this hand again as well, I think. No question there. This is looking nice for our low over here. The jack doesn't help us there, but we still got a decent low draw against what we're seeing on the other boards. And we brick it. So we've got nada at this point, which means we're just going to fold out here. So we were the top stack, and we are now one of the bottom stacks on our horse table. We are second stack over here on our Omaha high-low table, though, so it varies. Stud high-low, 10-10-5. I think I'm going to play this one. If Zeta had folded, I would put wall all in here, but the fact that Zeta came in means that I'll just call through like this instead. So I got the nut low on this side. I had the nut flush draw. I quartered them. Didn't quite take them out, but quartered them anyways. We're going to fold this one over here. Concentrate on the stud high-low on the horse. So we got a 10 for some straights over here. I think we're going to put both these guys all in. So jacks and queens. I'm definitely coming through on this. Ace, ace, deuce, deuce. One suit. I think I'm raising that, frankly. think I'm raising this, frankly, as well. Ace 4-7. So I have to hit a pair to beat him. Wow. Two pair, sixes and deuces. Wow. Wow, I'm just getting sucked out on left and right here. Crazy. So we're down to 5 left on the horse, 8 left in the Omaha High-Low, 3 pay on the horse, 4 pay in the Omaha High-Low. We've moved to limit HoldEm. I don't think we're strong enough. We probably maybe want to call to give a higher chance, but actually that works out well. We're going to lose. Well, we're going to be down to 4 now. So it is the bubble play over here on the horse table. 7 deuce 10-10. I think we're definitely going to call through on this. See what happens. Ace ace. Nice spot to be in on the bubble on this table with a reasonable stack. That wasn't optimal, but you know we'll take it. Right, so we hit a set of 10s over here on this one, and our low is still live with an ace-deuce getting capped over here. So I think we're going to be putting money in fairly happily, and assume that we have the best high and that we at least have a chance to draw out for low. I don't think we can afford to call for 443, nor would we want to necessarily fold with a king queen. We're certainly not going to most times. And yeah, we've flopped them in really bad shape. So that is the bubble. We are now in the money on the horse tournament with 3 cashing. I am in second place in that. We're gonna raise that obviously. Queen Jack. We're strong. We don't need to be nearly that strong to be raising it to him when it folds to us. Again, we're going to raise our button here. Going to raise most buttons, I think, if we can. And we've just flopped the world, so we're pretty happy with that. We're going to fold on this table while we concentrate here. We've just basically, although there's a low draw out there, we've basically got the nuts for our up. Right, so we're down to heads up on the horse. I've got a 2-to-1 chip lead in the horse, and we're at heads up. We're down to 7 left on the Omaha high-low table over here. Just lost another player. Golubchik at 13 ended in 8th place. We're gonna call through with this for the odds, I think. Given that they're all in, we're gonna try to knock them out. We've just turned a flush draw, so we're gonna put chips in that pot. Our low draws are all still good here, so I mean I'm pretty happy with that. Backdoor clubs are still live. We're gonna raise our button here. We're gonna raise most buttons, I think. So 7s and 5s is what we've ended up with, and we've got a low 8-7 5-4-3. Raise our button there. Well, we'll see. Yeah, nice. We'll fold that. Raise our button. Doesn't really matter that we got 8-3 here. I think we're raising most buttons, and we're folding to his re-raise there. We won't necessarily be folding all the time to his re-raise, but we definitely are there. We're not thrilled with this low. We don't have a low over here, obviously, but they don't know that, and we're definitely gonna make the effort. We flopped a pair of tens, four to Broadway. So I think we're going to continue with our semi-bluff hand situation here. We moved into Omaha high-low. I'm going to call here because I've got a fairly good low. That won us with the bet. That won us the pot for the record. For low, queen 9 for high. I think we're out of this hand in the horse over here. I think that I'm out of this one too. I could maybe call for odds to try to knock him out, but that's a very good flop for me. Obviously wasn't one that he liked very much. Deuce 3-3-5. We're definitely playing that, I think, on this table. Ace 5 for low, ace queen for high. We're pretty happy on that in that situation. Ace queen, ace 7. We're not thrilled, but in a heads up situation, that's a pretty strong hand anyway, so we would be wanting to play it. Ace 7, 8, 9. In a heads up situation, we're going to want to play that. And I think in a heads up, we're going to call here because we've got the odds for it. We're going to fold this one. Yeah, split that pot. Alrighty, we're not quite done yet, but we're close. I think we're going to put them all in on this one. Again, we split the pot. We're gonna make sure that we keep the pressure on here, even though we don't necessarily have to have nearly that strong of a hand. Wow. Wow, we're just getting our ass handed to us by these flops. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a nice flop for us. The club doesn't help us, obviously, and it takes away a lot of our straights, but we've still got the nice low draw happening, which we've just hit. If the clubs are out there, we will split with a high, but if not, we will scoop the pot. Clubs are out there, so we split the pot. Four, four, five, six. We're definitely playing this to knock somebody out. So we took low there, made some nice chips. We're going to fold that one. I think we want to keep the pressure on this guy over here and keep him all in, keep him having to race for his life, which he's doing a very nice job of, for the record, I must admit. It's annoying how good of a job he's doing racing for his life. Or playing for his life, I should say. And again, I mean, we're too strong. If he'd have played, we'd have had to have played there. Pair of queens, we've definitely got to play that. 3, 4, 5 over here, we've definitely got to play this. Pair of nines, I think we have to play that strong. Hopefully he will get off a weaker hand, which he does not. 9-10, Jack, Jack. See if he wants to put the rest of his chips in. He does. We're gonna play him for his stack here. Wow. That was unfortunate. We got a couple of pair over here. The flush did come in, but people are checking. I don't really think they're going to check raise me mostly here. So we're putting as many chips in here as we can, I think, with our Raz 5 showing. I'm going to fold there. I'm well out in front here for the record, so I'm fairly happy to just kind of sit and see what happens with the bubble. Put pressure on where I can. Flipped into Raz over here, obviously, so pretty happy with the ace showing and the 5 back. We're going to definitely throw in a completion on that. And I'm going to throw in a completion here too, even with the, oh, well, no, when he raises like that, I'm just going to fold out the ace. I would complete if he hadn't have come in for the full bet, but when he comes in for completion, then I can happily get out. We obviously check here, see what the flop brings. Flop brings 2 pair plus a flush draw. It's been quite the back and forth battle over here on the horse table. At the moment, I'm somewhat in the lead, but I mean, we're changing pretty much every hand. There's so much. There's so much in play on each hand that it's very close to the tournament is at play on every hand. I think we're gonna play this one. We're down to the money over here for the record. I didn't notice that bubble go, but we've got the bubble going. So it's time to put some more pressure on people over here. Especially when I've got hands as strong as these last 2 that I've been playing. I definitely want to be putting pressure on people with these hands. Yeah, we're going for broke on this one. We're hoping to make her go broke or him go broke. Ans. I don't know why I think Ans is a her, but I do. Yeah, I'm definitely calling that with pair of aces, no question. Split pot. I'm obviously betting here. They can't see my king, so and how timid he was playing, he clearly didn't have a hand he was happy with back there. So um, Alrighty, so we're heads up over on the Omaha high-low table, and I've got a whopping chip lead. We're definitely calling that just to see what develops. What develops is he gets a very nutty hand. So we moved over to stud on the horse over here. Definitely got to put him all in with this hand. Wow. And again, I think we're definitely going to make him play at the clubs. And we've done it. We just won for $9.52, the Omaha high-low 18-person turbo sit and go. It looks like we might be second over here. We just lost that hand. Oh, paired the aces, so that's a nice. Oh no, our three of a kind aces is going to work over there, so I'm happy with that. Nines, I'm definitely playing that. Ooh, tens. Ooh, jacks and nines. Tens and deuces. Queens and tens. And he. So, I win the Omaha high-low over here for $9.52, and I come second in the horse over here for $3.16 on my $6. I got $15 plus change back. So not a bad day here on anything but Hold'em. We lost the free roll, but we won and came second in our two cash games. So how can you cash tournament? So how can you complain about that? Thank you for joining me today. If you haven't already, hit the follow button down below the stream here. Please do so if you want to see more non-Hold'em poker being played, because I plan to be back playing some more over the next days. Register for our horse tournament coming up Sunday at 3 p.m. Mountain Time on Stars. Go to the Stars tournament lobby and search Elron. Password is Twitch Elron. So please join in that and have a good time. I'm going to do a couple more horse streams over the week just to give people an idea of how it plays. And yeah, hope to see you Sunday. Hope to see you on some of the other streams. Have a great night. We're out.